Hi, I'm Robert C. Dupree, and I want to bring to the American people's attention, still concerning my ongoing battle against General Mills, my former attorney, and the union, as well as their law firm, and how that, my civil and constitutional rights has still been deprived here in the United States of America. And that's a shame. I have been deprived continuously over and over again. I've been battling this here in and out of courts for over 10, 15 years. 10 years since the settlement, fraud, deceit. And some of you who may have seen my YouTube site, Robert Dupree 2, from got 1 to 40 uploads on there. And, I just want to bring out some more chilling experience here from 2010 to 2011, even all the way up here to 2012. I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to get my case all the way up into the United States Supreme Court, as an African American pro se, fighting up against a major multi-billion-dollar corporation, which was General Mills, and as I stated, the union, bakery, confectionery, tobacco worker, and grain miller, local number 16G. And also my former attorney, Jeffrey Sutton, and the Burnett and Jameson law firm, but it's the Burnett law firm now, since I had unfortunately had to sue them, and they had split it up, and it became the Burnett law firm. My case had continuously been in and out of court, and I was able to get it back into the court here in April 2010, and continuously battling and fighting. And I just wanted to show the American peoples the conspiracy against civil and constitutional rights in this cause of action. And like I said, it made it all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, and I have found and learned some startling things as well when I touch bases on that. But for right now, I want to bring to the American peoples how General Mills had manipulated this cause of action, because they know I have such evidence and things. They do not want this case to go before a juror or an impartial juror in the courts, because I have clear, uncontroverted facts and evidence that General Mills had no doubt even persuaded the United States District Court judge for the Western District of Missouri to not only close my case in its entirety, despite the federal rules of evidence and the federal rules of civil procedures and any other laws and things and supporting evidence and documentations, which laws clearly stated that I should have been given in summary judgment, and the case should have been over in my favor. They just totally wiped and denied all that, and it clearly showed where the conspiracy also come in, is that the United States District Court judge intentionally left off relevant evidence that was supposed to have been sent to the Court of Appeal, because I appealed the decision of the judge. And when that was appealed, they're supposed to send all documents and all materials that was filed with them up to the United States Court of Appeal for the 8th Circuit, which is the higher court. Well, the civil docket sheet was incomplete. And it was done intentionally, and I will prove it was done intentionally. And I also want to bring out that once I brought this to the attention of the United States District Court's attention by filing motion to the judge, that I am requesting that all documents to be sent up, and I had gave a list of what documents and things that was left off that I wanted to be sent up. Well, that motion was denied, despite the rules, the laws, and even the United States Court of Appeal have laws and things that even states that the district court, if they have any materials that had been filed with them, they must send it up to them. All this here, they're fully aware of it. And despite all of that, my case, not only was it closed in its entirety, but even my motion was denied, period, concerning having the district court to send all of my documents up. As a matter of fact, I'm holding the document right here, and I want to let the court see, that these are legal documents and things. And concerning my requesting the United States District Court to send all of my documents, well, this is what the court has to say on this here. Presently before this court, pro se plaintiff Robert C. Dupree, plaintiff motion requesting the court to send all materials up to the Court of Appeal for the 8th Circuit docket 16, docket 56, that is. And then this is his reply for why he didn't. No grounds exist for granting plaintiff motion. Therefore, it is ordered that plaintiff present motion is denied. And that was denied on January 3rd, 2011. So I also want to bring to the American peoples of the continuous ongoing battle and conspiracy against rights. Now, anytime the United States District Court judge refuses to send all documents up that is relevant, that they know support your cause and your claim of action against General Mills and against the union, the lawyer, the law firm, and the whole 9 yards, and then pretend to try to deceive the court of an appeal to make it believe that this is all the documents that they had that they sent up, and then still nothing's been done about it. And unfortunately, when the judge denied my motion to have for me to request them to send everything all up, well, then shortly after that, General Mills, the union, the law firm, and my former attorney, and all of their attorneys collectively, not just shortly after this here incident, collectively sent false documents to the United States Court of Appeal for the 8th Circuit to make them believe that I didn't file my notice of appeal in a timely manner. Therefore, to make it appear that, well, if that were the case, well, then I would have been out of jurisdiction because my case would have been dismissed because of time of statute of limitation. They know I have such evidence against and even about the settlement, fraud, deceit. I have 3 exhibit books that displays and shows everything, uncontroverted facts, undeniable and whatever, and supporting laws to back it up, that should have obviously been ruled in my favor from the district court. But they did not, because there is conspiracy continuously going on. And it's a sad thing when we as a people, and when I say we as a peoples, I'm not just talking about African Americans, I'm talking about us all, but specifically African Americans more so, that when we try to petition our government and go through the legal system, which we have to go through, and then there's a lot of prejudice and discrimination and conspiracy against rights that hold and hinder you back because they don't want the truth to come forth. Something's wrong with that. And all of them pretend, or they, at least they say that they affirm or uphold the Constitution of the United States. Well, I want to testify to the American peoples that I am still struggling and battling and fighting for my civil and constitutional rights, which I will continue to do. And now once I got this up into the Court of Appeal, I brought all this to the attention of the Court of Appeal, made it clear to them and everything. And when I, as stated earlier, had filed motion to request the lower court, which was the district court at the time, to send all of my documents, and they denied it, I filed, unfortunately, a complaint against the federal judge. Yes, I have to do that. And that just made my struggle for my civil and constitutional right more hell in our judicial system, period. Time and time, over and over and over. This constantly been denied over and over, and I'm still going through the process of that right now. So finally, after all that, it got into the United States Supreme Court. And we went through all the procedures, all the rules, all the laws, and all the everything, and they have all the information. Well, guess what? They denied me. Not only once, but they denied me twice. And I asked them, why am I being denied despite the facts and the evidence? Despite the facts that there is uncontroverted facts supporting laws, the Constitution, and everything that upholds the right and the protection of the rights of the peoples, of the citizens of these of the United States. Why? Oh, they don't have to give a reason. So they just pick and choose. The United States Supreme Court has a rule, Supreme Court Rule 10, that speaks about writ accessory or a discretionary review. And that discretionary review give the United States Supreme Court at their discretion what case they want to pick and choose, and don't have to give any reason why it was denied. And the truth be told, that type of rule undermines the right of the citizens of its peoples that is protected by Constitution. The Constitution in the 14th Amendment mentioned about that no state should make or enforce any law that should deprive the rights, the privilege, or the immunities of the peoples or its citizens of the United States, nor deny any citizen their equal and protection and due rights to the law and equal protection of that law. Equal protection. I have been perpetually denied continuously over and over and over again. And here it is 2012, and I'm still battling for my civil and constitutional rights. And I informed the United States Supreme Court that I will continue to fight for my civil and constitutional rights, and that I will respectfully challenge the order, the judgment, and the decision of the United States concerning the above style case where they had denied me over again and twice. Despite all the facts and the evidence and supporting laws that, according to law, if they really uphold and upheld the Constitution as they swear or affirm to do, there's no way General Mills would even win this here. They do not want this to come before the court, before an impartial juror, because the impartial juror who will see the evidence that will be presented and the exhibit books and the other supporting laws, there's no way in the world they wouldn't be able to rule. Ain't no way they would not rule in my favor, because that's just how blatant the facts and the evidence is. That's why they're doing what they're doing to keep me out. And not only, it's not just about me. My concern now is more so about the peoples of the United States, period. Particularly the minority race. Yes, blacks and anyone else who falls under the category of minorities, because they have it designed and set up in such a way that even if you did make it to the United States Supreme Court with undeniable facts, excuse me, and evidence that show that your rights had been violated or worked up on with conspiracy, well, then the United States Supreme Court, they have their own discretion from their rule that, hey, they can either accept to hear it, reject it, or deny it, and then don't even give you a reason why. And that undermines, as I stated earlier, the rights of the peoples of the United States, some more than others, at the United States Supreme Court discretion. And something's wrong, seriously wrong with that. So I encourage anyone who will hear and look at this here that they need to write to Congress, to talk to the president, and let any and everyone be aware of what's going on in this cause of action, and not only in this cause of action, how many more causes of action that this no doubt have taken place and happened that you probably never even hear about. Anytime our government, who we as a people's supposed to have the right to address with redress of grievances according to the First Amendment rights to petition our government, and then once we do this, he has, or the government or the United States Supreme Court has a rule that they go by in regards of whether they're going to accept to hear your case or not. Something wrong with that. And this is where I stand at right now. This is where I stand at right now. And I'm still seeking and looking to take legal actions because of the decision that was made with the United States Supreme Court now, because they just shut it down, close it, and say, hey, this is it. Despite the fact that there was a United States District Court judge who intentionally left off documents that strongly supported my allegations against General Mills and the union and the lawyer and all them. And then when I requested a motion or a filed motion to have the United States District Court judge to send all of the documents up to the Court of Appeal, well, then my motion was denied. If that's not an act of conspiracy, that's not a mistake. That's an intentionally done thing, because they know they did not want the evidence to be presented, and hoping that I wasn't able to catch that, and then to deceive the United States Court of Appeal to believe that what they did send was it, and it weren't, because they left a lot out. And I brought that also to the Court of the United States Court of Appeals attention on such. And then unfortunately, when the district court judge denied me my motion, I was forced to file a complaint against him, and my civil rights struggle became to be more hell. Yes, more. And as I stated, General Mills and all of them collectively send false documents up there, and with nothing done to them. Not one thing. Despite the Supreme Court rules concerning any attorneys or lawyers that conduct themselves uncommonly, that is unbecoming to them, that is, as lawyers and attorneys, which have you, they should be disciplined and even given a 40-day suspension and all this stuff according to the Supreme Court rule, 8. And so, on and on, but nothing's been done about it. They just want to sweep it under the rug and pretend like, hey, this is it. And I want to let the American peoples know what a lot of stuff in my chilling experience and struggle for civil rights here in this United States and through our judicial system around up over there. The General Mills have certain judges and lawyers in the system that works a lot of the corruption that deprives peoples of their rights. And this need to be addressed it. And this is exactly what I'm doing. So since I can't be heard in the courts, well, then I'm going to bring it before the public, and I'm going to still continue to fight for my civil and constitutional rights, and the right to be heard in the courts as a citizen of the United States has a right to. So I just want the American peoples to be aware of what's going on and how and where I stand at this point in time in my fight still for my civil and constitutional rights. It is in the United States Supreme Court, and they just denied it. And I had a petition for a rehearing, and I gave supporting laws. And the laws and things even speaks about that when documents and things had been signed in the form or in a way where it's been deceptive and not fully true, that the person who signed and sent documents and things that had to have a notary or either a certificate of service or a certificate of mailing or whichever it is, how that, they will be held in criminal contempt. It's criminal. And this is what General Mills, the union, the lawyer, and all of their attorneys who's representing them, they all sent false documents with certification as if this is true, and it weren't, to lie and to deceive the Court of Appeal to believe that I, Robert Dupree's case was not filed in a timely manner. And I proved them all wrong, and wasn't nothing done about it. Only thing the United States Court of Appeal did was just denied General Mills and them their motion and request to deny my request because they found out that it was fraud and deceit. That's the only reason why they denied it. And then they turned right around and still denied mine. So nevertheless, there's a lot of corruption, and there's a whole lot more that I can prove in the court of law, that this case and my civil rights had been worked up on and dealt with by conspiracy. And not only conspiracy, but also obstruction of justice by forcing me not to be able to get into the court before an impartial juror. So I'm letting American peoples know the status and where I stand at this point in time in my fight and struggle for my civil and constitutional rights.